Hi, hello, welcome to Devon Monk's Works and Worlds. We are on Monday, Monk, I don't know, 112, 113. What's funny is the last time I did a video, I think I said I was on 170 or something. I'm like barely hit 100 now. I'm like, oh, I must be on 2,000,000, 2,000,009 or something. So no, still in the low hundreds. I mean, I don't even think I've hit 120 yet, but I haven't looked, but I'm pretty sure it's like around 114, 113, something like that. But whatever number we're on, I want to thank you for coming by and finding me and spending a little time with me today. It has been a minute. I have had so much going on that I have had no time to scrape any video together at all. So I thought I would, even now, I'm doing it kind of at the last minute. So hopefully this turns out. And it's just really nice to be back here and to be spending a little time with you again. So I'm going to cover what I usually cover. How are things going? And what do I usually cover? Writing, knitting, and Monkland in general. So how are things going in writing? Writing is going well as can be expected. Any time that I have had carved out for writing, I've been hitting it with everything I have. So I'm glad for that, when I'm getting those moments to write, I am 100% on for it. And I am making progress. As for where the progress is, I am almost done with the copy edits of Nursery Crimes. I think the last time I was talking about this, that book was out for copy edits. They are almost done. I am finding myself adding more to the book after the copy edits. I talked a little with the copy editor, and she's a very good writer and a reader, and she gave me some constructive feedback that I think was important to pay attention to. And so I am doing a little heavier work than normal on copy edits. I still hope to get that done this week, and then proofreads should take just a couple days, and then hopefully that will be out. I had wanted it to come out in May. Looks like it's going to be June, but I'm glad it's coming out in June. So that will be coming out soon. I will keep you up to date on that. I am also working on Wayward Devils, which is a fourth book in the Souls of the Road series, and I feel like I've been saying that forever. There's something about June when I realize that half of the year is done that makes me feel like I have gotten nowhere and I am behind on everything. Why June? Why? But every year I hit June, and I get a little blue and a little gloomy because I feel like all of my plans for the year that I had thought I could do when I started out in January have just unraveled and just dissolved away, and I'm stuck wherever I'm at with whatever I've gotten done. Now, I've gotten stuff done. I have made good progress on other things, but it feels insignificant sometimes. So I'm trying to remind myself that I hit this every June. I always feel this way. And I have been making progress, and I'm going to have some books out soon to kind of prove that I've been making progress. So I just got to get through June. Once I get through June, I'm like, well, June's done, and you can just do what you can do for the rest of the year. So I just got to get in that mentality of keeping going as well as I can. And yeah, I'll get there. I just got to take a couple minutes to be sad that half the year is done. Okay, so that's writing. How is knitting going? Still haven't knit. I'm still baffled by that. It has been months and months since I took a hiatus. I have not knitted. I have, however, been crocheting. And this is what I've been crocheting. Now, I'm going to see if I can stand up and show it to you on camera. I'm going to have to move some things around and redo the focus on the camera. And my background's going to look weird and stuff. But if that works, that's what I'm going to do. If not, I'll just cut all this out and I'll just put up a picture of me. But hopefully I can do this. So this is the Lotus Duster pattern. Now, I didn't make it into a duster. I just made it into a vest. I didn't put sleeves on it, which is something that you can do. I didn't put a hood on it, which is something you can do. I didn't make it as wide as it's supposed to be because the actual Lotus Duster is wide enough that it crisscrosses over the front, and you can also put laces in it, and you can put a belt around it, so it's a full kind of coat situation. I wanted more of an open flowing vest because I want to wear it in the summertime with shorts and tank tops and stuff so that it looks, kind of easy breezy. And remember, I was doing this Lotus Duster crochet project to kind of learn how to crochet. I've done a few small crochet projects in my life. I always say I've done none, but that's not quite true. I knit a tiny little crochet night, and it was a nightmare because I didn't know what I was doing, but I did manage to make it work. And then as a kid, I used to make elf hats. I used to crochet elf hats. So I have crocheted that before, which is basically single chain, right? So I've done a tiny bit, but that's it. And then a couple of years ago, I made granny square shorts, which was it involved making a whole bunch of granny squares and then sewing them together into shorts. So that's it. That's the width and breadth of my crochet experience. So doing this duster taught me a lot of different stitches, and it got me more fluid with the tension on the hook and I actually ended up dealing with a couple different weights of threads because I accidentally bought some thinner threads and some thicker threads. So it was a good practice project. I have not finished off weaving in all of the ends because every time the color changed, there's ends of the yarn that you have to weave in, which is the same with knitting. I understand that. But even though I don't quite have all the ends woven in, I wanted to show you the finished project. The Lotus Duster, and again, this is just how far I went with the pattern. I didn't want to make it bigger. So give me a second and let me see if I can stand up and move things around, and you can see the full duster on the back. So this is the front of it. It kind of ends with this very thin yellow color, and here we go. So I'm going to just kind of try to get myself out of the screen and move this chair that I'm sitting in and give you an idea of what the back of the duster looks like. I don't know if am I far enough away that you can actually see it? So here's the duster. I'll hold it out here. Here's the ends that I haven't done yet. You can see kind of how it flows. I'm really liking it. I think it's going to look really cute with shorts or with what are they called? With the capris and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's going to be a nice summer kind of vest to wear, and I'm going to make another one. Like, I got done with this one, and there's some problems. The arms are a little too tight. I should have made those loopier. I wanted them to be real loose, and I wasn't thinking. So these, I would definitely make the armholes bigger, but I've learned a lot with it. I've gotten a lot faster with crochet with it. I'm starting to get the terms and how you join and build more in my head. And so I'm going to make another one at least. I might make a few more and give them away to people. We'll see. So anyway, so knitting is not going, but crocheting is going, and that's been fun. It's happened in tiny little 15-minute pockets, like, 15 minutes before bed or something kind of thing. It hasn't been that I've sat down and done a whole lot of work on it. It's just been a little bit at a time, but a little bit of time got me there, right? It's how it works sometimes, people. Okay, so that's knitting, that's writing, and now we're down to how are things going in Monkland. And Monkland is very busy, thank you. Oh my gosh, the last few weeks, I want to say the last month, have just been burning by with projects, and we had a big move in the middle of that. We helped a family member work their way through all the steps of buying a house, also painted that house, helped move that family member, helped clean up and take care of the other place that they were living in to, get that all tidy for handing over. And then we've done yard projects that have been huge. I don't know if I talked about it, but I think I did. We had the big digger mover guy come in and dig out all of our beds, and he took away, just dump loads of dirt that were in the wrong places in our yard. My husband rebuilt a brick wall, and it took like 200 bricks to go around this one flower bed. And I literally pulled out about 300 pounds of weeds out of one spot in our backyard because my husband had to take the weeds that I pulled to the actual landfill, to the dump. And because it had blackberries in it, we had to take it to the burner part, because if you have blackberries or ivy, our landfill won't take that greenery, even though it's clean, because ivy and blackberries will just regrow. So the only way to get rid of those suckers, they've got it figured out, and they're not wrong, is you gotta burn those. So those go into, the incinerator for power. So he took it, and he could figure out how many pounds it weighed, because they weigh you before you go in and they weigh when you leave, and that's how much you've gotten rid of into the transfer station, into the dump. And it was about 300 pounds of weeds. So I pulled like 300 pounds of weeds out of the backyard, and I did a bunch of other things. I dug up all of the daffodils. I think I talked about that. I'm not sure, but I dug up all the daffodils in that bed that we want to change in the front and put flagstones in. We didn't put flagstones in yet. That's what we want to do. I dug up all the irises in that bed. I dug up all the gladiolas in that bed, and then I dug up all the roses in that bed. And one of those roses, my son wanted for his yard, and so I had pulled it out, not thinking of transplanting it. I had just like ripped that sucker out and said, I love you, Rose, but it's time for you to go. And we pulled it out, and then he's like, I'd love it. And so we quickly, got it in a pot and gave it a lot of water and told it nice things. And then we planted it at his place, and it looks good. And I think it's going to survive because it's old and tough. So I think this rose is going to make it. But we did some of that, and then my husband was helping another family member with a concrete pour for a pad for their house. I wasn't involved in that, but I was doing all the other things that we usually do together. I was doing singly because he was busy with that. And it has been a cascade of things. In the middle of all that, are you all bored with my boring life of doing work around our house and stuff? But let me tell you this. In the middle of it, we did do something fun. I had planned this earlier in the year, and I'm glad I did. We hopped out and we went down to Elsinore Theater, which is our local, it used to be a vaudeville theater when it was first built in 1926. And then it's been a movie theater. And now it's a mixture of live performances and some like silent movies or some movie shows that they do too, and musical performers and comedy performers and stuff like that. Anyway, so we went down to the Elsinore, which I've always loved. It was supposed to be built on Hamlet, it even has the Three Witches, a mural of the Three Witches with the boil, toil, and trouble. And it's supposed to be built like a Gothic cathedral or something like that, which is really great. But anyways, we went to go watch Buster Keaton, two Buster Keaton silent movies, which I've never seen in theater before. I've never seen Buster Keaton. I've seen clips, but I've seen like silent movies, watching them as a movie on my TV. I've seen them that way or streamed on YouTube or something like that. But I haven't ever gone to a theater and watched a silent movie with someone live playing the organ to do all of the music and sound effects of the show. And I've got to tell you, that's the way to watch these. It was amazing. We got balcony seats, which I thought I'd been on the balcony at that theater before, but it's one more level up that I had never been on. So that was fun. We're up above the spotlights, So we're on the balcony, and you can see the organist down there in the corner. And I didn't realize, but now I did since we've been there, that all of the pipes of that organ, which is something like 1,800 pounds of pipes, are behind and up in the archway of that above the stage. It's just, and they're covered with bric-a-brac, so you don't see any of the pipes, but it's amazing. Anyway, we watched two Buster Keaton shows. One was 1 week and one was Sherlock Jr. And they headlined Sherlock Jr. because I think it's a 40, no, let's see, it's a little longer, an hour long show. No, 40, I think it was like a 45-minute show. That tells you how long movies used to be. It's like 45 minutes. And then they said, and also you can watch 1 week, which is a 25-minute show. But when they actually played it, they did it more like they used to do in the theaters, where they would do like a little cartoon in the beginning, a funny little cartoon, and then they would play the show. That's what they used to do for little kids. I guess they used to do it even for adults. They would do like Bugs Bunny cartoons at the beginning of a show, and then they would play the movie. They did something like that. They did the short Buster Keaton show, which was 1 week, at the beginning, and then they did the Sherlock Jr. as the main draw. And so we watched the first 1 week, and I got to tell you, I'm going to find that on YouTube. Maybe I'll link it down below. It was a hoot. Like, I see why everyone just, lost their minds over this. It's funny, it's slapstick, it's physical, it works across any day and age. I literally laughed out loud several times because I'd never seen it before. I thought the actress was fantastic in it, and all the side characters were great too. He's luminous. He's amazing. Buster Keaton is. And, to think of all of those stunts being physical stunts with no special effects was just, amazing. So we love that. And I love that one more even than the major showing of the next one, the Sherlock Jr., because it was so silly and slapstick. It was exactly what I wanted. And I guess it's kind of what I expect from Buster Keaton, is just that glorious ridiculousness. And I get why all of the like Looney Tunes and the comedies after that really echoed those kinds of physical sense of humor things. If you get a chance, I'll see if I can find a link to it on YouTube. If I can, I'll put it below. If not, just find it somewhere. It's called 1 week, Buster Keaton. It's amazing. Then the second one was Sherlock Jr., and it was more like a love story. It was, I'm not going to give anything away, but it was a fella down on his luck, and he gets accused of doing something that he didn't do when he was trying to woo. He's trying to woo this girl, but someone else accuses him of doing something that he didn't do. And it's kind of how he has to solve the crime as Sherlock Jr., but it's not quite that. But it all ends up, and I think most of these did, it all ends up kind of happily ever after. And it had a really sweet, I think one of my favorite parts of it was the ending scene. Well, there's one part that was really funny at the beginning. And then at the end, just how they closed it out, I thought was really sweet and really fun. So, and it was great. And it was really a love story. It was a drama. And so that was fun. I mean, with comedy in it, but it was telling a story. And I think they did what were really unusual special effects back then, which was there was a dream sequence in it. And so that was fun to see how they handled that. So, yeah, we went and saw that. Worth it. It was the theater's 98th anniversary. They handed out free cupcakes. I mean, come on, people. You want me to go to the theater? Just hand out free cupcakes. So we had free cupcakes and bought some popcorn. And it was just a wonderful way to spend an afternoon, and I would totally do it again. So, yeah, so we did have that little fun thing in the middle of all the work that we've been doing. And that's kind of what's been going on in Monkland. We have a quick trip out of town coming up here pretty soon, and I've got to get out in the RV again soon. I'm feeling the need to get some road under my wheels, so we'll see if that happens. But mostly we're just trying to do all that we can right now at this beginning part of summer, because we know that you basically get your bulk of your yard work done right here, because once the heat comes on and the ground gets really hard, you're not going to be pulling weeds because the weeds, or you're not going to be really doing much more because everything kind of gets locked into the heat and there's just not a lot left to do other than try to water the plants that you want to survive. We have not planted our garden. No, we have not. It is June. The latest we've ever planted a garden is May. So yeah, we may not put one in this year. It just might not be a garden year, and that's okay. So, but we have done other good things, and yeah, that's it. I hope that you have not been too busy and that you have been enjoying this roll into summer if you're in the part of the world where this is heading into summertime. We are having a rainy days, couple days now, but it's not all that cold out, and it's supposed to be pretty hot by the end of the week. So it's just sort of a little fluky rain coming through, which is nice actually for the plants and everything. We did buy they're an old thing, but we haven't ever had one. Our backyard is really long and kind of narrow. And so we bought a little tractor sprinkler. It's a sprinkler that's shaped like a tractor, and it has wheels, and the water going through the top of the sprinkler at the top of the tractor pushes it along the hose and down your yard and waters your yard. Best investment in our life, because we don't have underground sprinklers, and if we want to keep that back space soft for walking on in the summertime, because it's kind of our place where we go and sit and like have our picnics and barbecues and stuff. If we want to keep that soft, we have to keep moving. Like we've tried fan sprinklers, we've tried those rainbirds, is that what they're called? The one that goes chick chick chick. We've tried those. We've tried just spray sprinkle ones. We've tried doing it just with the hose. We've tried all this stuff, and nothing keeps the yard watered very well. But this little tractor, it looks like it might do well, because you just set up the hose for where you want it to follow, and then it just sprinkles along and goes down to the end of the hose, and then all that yard is watered and you don't have to do anything, and I love it. So we're hoping that little tractor is going to be our yard bot this year. We don't know what to name it. We think we should name it so that it lasts for a long time, but we haven't come up with any idea. So if you have an idea of what we should name a tractor that's going to water our yard, I mean, it's pretty heavy. It's made out of cast iron, so it looks like a toy tractor, though. It's just like a toy John Deere. It's a little green guy. But anyways, if you come up with an idea of what we should name our tractor, let me know. In the meantime, I hope you have a fabulous week, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.